Hi there, my name is Shannon and I'm here to show you what's new in STX Cloud version 2.0. So first things first is we now have a billboard. So to get to the billboard, you'll simply go either on any page within the software or right here on your home screen or also up in the navigation bar. Simply click Billboard Goals and your goals will display here. The goals, if you click on them, it will tell you how much of the goal is met. It will have a virtual coaching message, which I'll show you how to set up in a second. It'll tell you how much to increase your sales per day to meet your goal, how many goals or days are left in the month, and your new daily goal. So to set these up, you'll simply go to Setup, Workers, Set up Billboard Goals, and you'll be able to set the goals for service sales, rebooking, average ticket, retail to service percent, product sales, retail per ticket. This is a dollar amount. This is number of retail per guest, like if they had an average of 2 or 3 retail items per guest or per ticket, either way. You can also set goals for the future, or you can reference what the goals were in the past. So you'll want to set these up. The other area, like I mentioned, is the set up goals, the virtual coaching. So if you click here, you'll see that there are different goals and different levels to be met based on the percent of the goal reached. And it will show you in here what the default message is. You can update this and add your own encouraging message. And then if you want to reset it back to what we had, you simply just click reset and it will go back, and then you'll click save. Okay, so the next new feature we have is the check-in kiosk. So you can get to the check-in kiosk either from the home page or the navigation bar, and you simply click on check-in kiosk. Now, you're going to want to do this on a computer or a tablet that is client-facing. And the great thing about this is it's a list of your appointments for the day. It shows you a button to check in, the time of the appointment, the client's first name, last initial for security reasons, and then the services they're looking to get done that day, and then the worker assigned to that service. So if Dan S. is here for his 11:30 appointment, he simply clicks check in. He's removed from the list. It thanks him for checking in. And if his stylist or worker has the STX Worker app on their phone, they'll get a notification that Dan checked in, and also the status of his appointment will be checked in. So it's just like if the front desk did it, kind of like a virtual front desk. It's a pretty great feature. And then the other piece of this is the walk-in list. So if, let's say, somebody is walking in, they didn't have a planned appointment, they can click walk-in. And from here, they can just simply type in their name. So maybe Caroline, and she just gives you a last initial of M. She's here for a blowout and wants to see Raquel. And then she can add additional services here or just exit out and go ahead and click check in. And then what will happen is it'll refresh the page. It'll stay on that page. Now, if we need to navigate back to the appointment one, you just click there and it shows you the list of appointments. If you need to go back to walk-in, and it will allow the user to just toggle themselves. Now, the great thing about this is once you're in this zone, it does not allow them any way to navigate back into the software. So you don't have to worry about them hitting a back arrow. You truly have to log back into the software from here. So let me log out and log back in, and I'm going to show you where you're going to go to reference those walk-ins. So you'll first go to your appointment book and then down to the waiting list. And here's a list of our walk-ins. It also timestamps them from when they noted they were a walk-in. And then if, let's say, Raquel's ready to take Shannon back, she'll just go ahead and click check-in. Now, if somebody else checks her in, Raquel will get the notification on her phone using the STX Worker app. Now, what will also happen is I get an option to either pair this Caroline M with an existing client. So maybe Caroline's a regular. I know this is her. I can select that. I can also change the search and associate it with a different client. Or if Caroline's new, I can simply click New Client. So I'll go ahead and associate this with Caroline. And then the record's successfully created, and it goes away from my list. And that is the walk-in. Now that appointment is going to be checked in. It's going to show up in our checkout list. So right down here, Caroline, and then I can check her out from here. and the services she selected, I can use those. Another feature we added is the ability to uninclude a ticket. So I included a ticket here, and what I can do with this is I just click on it and I say remove, and now I've unincluded a ticket. So that's a new feature we have as well. We renamed one of our reports. So if you go into reports, transactions, there used to be a report here. It was called electronic payment detail report. And what we really realized is that we needed to do more than just reporting on electronic payments. We needed to do more with reporting on payments, period. So what we've done here is I can select a date range or a single date. I can select a specific payment I want to track or all the payments. And I can also specify a cash drawer or a cash shift. Now, the cash drawer shifts, we'll get around to that in a second. That is also a new feature. And I go ahead and hit generate, and it's going to break down for those dates all the transactions I had, whether they were cash or prepaid packages, and then it's going to give me a summary down here below as well. So this is a really great alternative to the total sheet. It's just another really great way of looking at this information. If there's a specific type of payment you're looking to track down, this is a really great tool for that as well. If it is an electronic payment, it will have the reference number and the authorization code filled in here. Okay, so another thing that's come up recently is the ability to move around appointments. So let me take you to tomorrow so I can do this properly. So if I book an appointment for Caroline, and Caroline is going to come in for a blow dry with Shannon, and with Liz, oh, this is actually another new feature while we're here. We updated how these are listed, so they're now by service group so that you can see that. So maybe she's getting a manicure with Liz and a blow dry with Shannon. I'll go ahead and click save. And now what you notice is if I want to move this manicure, I can move the second appointment up. That is no problem. I can move the second appointment back down. No problem. But if I do want to move the entire time of the appointment, like Caroline says, hey, I can't come in at 11:15, I can come in at noon. You can move just the 11:15 appointment to noon, and all the services related to it will move with it. So the rule of thumb here is if you do want to overlap your appointments, you want to move the second, third, fourth, and so on appointment. If you want to move all of the services in an appointment, move the first appointment. So we did need to accommodate a few different requests here. I think we did a fantastic job, and this will really work well for both sides of it. Okay, the other thing worth mentioning, it's hard to show and we don't have that kind of time, but we did increase the logout time. So now once you log into the system, if you're inactive for 4 hours, it will log you out. The old setting was 1 hour. The other piece we added is if let's say I add Caroline Martin and I assign a visit type here. So regular request, hit save. If I scroll down below here to the list of the appointments, the visit type is now going to be listed as a part of the appointment list. Another area we improved is the purchase orders. So now with a purchase order, you can create multiple purchase orders in one day. And the other thing I can do is I can resort my purchase order either by SKU number or by product name. So you can choose which way you'd like to see those and you can sort. Okay, we've got a couple new reports in here as well. So we've got a new report called Sales Analysis Report. And what this does is you can select specific dates, and you can also do this by company or by a worker, and you'll click generate. And what this will do is it'll show you, you know what, let me pull a wider date range here. So it'll show you a breakdown of the service sales by service group. It'll show you any refunds. It'll tell you what percent of the service sales were these sales. So like you did 51%-ish in hair services. Of that 51%, 7.53 were blow dry, 18.07 was updo, and it breaks that down for you. And then it also does it by the total sales. So it factors in not just the service sales, but the retail sales. How much of your total sales are hair services? Then it tells you what the quantity was. So you did 6 total hair services, 1 blow dry, 1 updo for haircuts, and then it shows you the percent of quantity. So you can see that even though maybe something isn't um, as profitable, maybe you're doing more of them or vice versa. And then it shows you the average price paid for that service as well. And then down here, it does something very similar with your product group. So it pulls the product line: shampoos, conditioners, styling aids, lotions, nail polishes, accessories, whatever you're selling. And then it gives you your retail total. It'll tell you what percent of your sales are that product line. Um, and then it shows you your percent of total sales, your quantity of the percent, similar to above, and then of course the average price. And then down here, um, or I apologize, I keep saying product line, I meant product group. And then down here, I've got my your company name and the visit types. So if you do create visit types in setup client preferences, if you are assigning visit types during express booking or appointment book, like finding an appointment, or even after or during the appointment checkout, you you can see here the sales that were not flagged with any visit type, which ones were maybe referrals or regular requests, the total percentage of sales for each of those, the quantity, the percent quantity, the service sales, service quantity, average service, and the total retail. So that's going to break those numbers down for you. And then last but not least, the STX Cloud, these are automatically assigned visit types is what we call them. So these are related to actions within the software. So these aren't things you can flag yourself. These are things that the software just knows based on your history and activity. So maybe like recurring, new client, online booked, or non-service. Again, it's going to break down your sales, percent of sales, quantity, percent quantity, service sales, service quantity, average service, and the retail. Now, when you're looking at this, this is the only one without a total net sale. The reason being is a client could be both new and online booked. We're just presenting these values to you. So we don't have a total here, but it will give you those numbers. And it does note that right down here. And then we also have your days worked and your hours worked during that time, your average service per day, your average service cost per hour, average retail per hour or day and per hour, and then of course your busy percent. Now this was the company as a whole, and this is on our demo database, so these numbers are going to be a little bit low, but you hopefully get the gist. Okay, we also have another report. It's called the Price Adjustment Report, and that is under our transactions. And what this report is going to do is anytime you can do this by company or a specific worker in any date range. Let me widen this up a little bit. So anytime an appointment, the original price of a service or a product is altered from the original price. So for example here, this original service for Abigail Lear was $40. We adjusted it $4 down to $36, and that was with worker Raquel. So like I said, you can do this by company or by worker, and it's going to show you every single ticket that was adjusted and the total adjustment amount. There's also these details on the total sheet. So you'll see the summary on the total sheet. It'll be more broken down in this section, and it will show you the total adjustment amount for both services and products, and then the grand total altogether. And that will also tell you the ticket date that it occurred on. So if you want to see how those pan out. We also added to a few reports. Let me see here. It's in this one. I'll give you an example. So on the TBP report under business analysis, under top client, also in business analysis, and then in the promotion report, we did add options to select a specific worker. If there's anything that you want to see in the software, we'd be happy to consider it. Please just let our support team know, and they'll be happy to report your ideas. Many of our ideas in this version came from current users making requests, and we love that. We appreciate it, and we hope you keep sharing those ideas with us. All right, thank you everyone for watching. Have a great day.